Okay, so I've got that, plugged it in, solving, I get 2x equals 10, so x equals 5. Okay, does that make sense? Remember that from grade 10? Kind of ring a bell? So we're going to do that idea, but with matrices. So here's what I did. Do you see these numbers, 2, 3, 16? I put them into a matrix. So 2, 3, 16 in a matrix. 2, negative 3, and 4. So I put all the coefficients into a matrix. Okay, so this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to try to zero that out. So I'm going to rewrite the first line. Okay, how am I going to get a 0? I'm going to take row 1, subtract row 2. Okay, so 2 subtract 2 is 0. 3 subtract negative 3 is 6. 16 subtract 4 is 12. Okay, so this, remember this first column talks about our x. This column talks about our y, because that's how it was organized. So 6y equals 12, therefore y equals 2. And then I just go at it the same way I had just given you in the other example. Now I go up, so 2x plus 3y equals 16. Okay, so let's do another one. Okay, I'm going to write this first of all as a matrix. So 3, 7, 35. 2, negative 5, and 4. Okay, so my goal is to zero that out. How am I going to zero that out? 3 and 2, I can't add or subtract them to make 0. So we're going to have to think about something else. Anybody have an idea of how I could zero that out? I'm going to times this by 2 and times this by 3 and then put them together. Do you remember doing that in your equations from grade 10? So I'm going to go 2 row 1s subtract 3 row 2s. Okay, so that makes 6 subtract 6, 0. Okay, you ready for the numbers here? 2 of these is 14. Subtract negative 15. What does that make? 29. 2 of these, 70. Subtract 3 of those, 12. Makes 58. So now 29y, because this is x, this is y. So 29y equals 58. Therefore, y equals 2. 3x plus 7y's, which is 2, equals 35. Algebra, algebra, isolate, isolate, x equals 7. Okay, so let's go to a 3 matrix, 3 by 4 matrix. Okay, so write your matrix for me. So this will be 1, 1, 1, 9. Okay, my goal for this one is I need zeros on those 3, because this first row will start with an X, the second row will have no X's and start with Y's, and the third row is going to have no X's, no Y's, and start with a Z. Okay, so we're going to attack that one first. So rewrite the top, rewrite the bottom. Okay, what am I going to do? I think I'm going to do this. 3 of the first row, subtract the second row. Does that make sense? 3 row 1 minus row 2. Okay, so this is a lot of just following, making sure we're not making mistakes. 3 minus 3, 0. 3 subtract negative 1 adds 1. So 4. 3 subtract 1 is 2. Am I doing okay? Are you following my math? In case I make mistakes. 3 times 9 is 27 minus 11. What is that? 16. Okay. Next, I'm going to attack that one. So rewrite the first 2 rows. Okay, how are we getting rid of that one that I circled? I'm going to go 2 row 1 minus row 3. 2 of the top minus the bottom. Okay, so here we go. 2 subtract 2 is 0. 2 subtract 3 is negative 1. 2 subtract negative 5 adds the 5, so 7. And 18 minus 7 is 11. And the last is this one. And then I'm good. So I have to zero that out. So I'm going to rewrite the first 2 rows. Okay, now here's something important to remember. I know that often I think, well, I can just put it with row 1. Yes, it will get rid of that, but when I do that, this 0 deactivates. Now I want to keep my 0, 0. So I have to put these 2 rows together. I don't have a choice. Okay, does that make sense? Because if you use row 1 in that, this 0's changing back to some number, and I don't want to undo my 0. So I'm going to go row 2 plus 4 row 3s is what's going to get a 0 there. So 0 plus 4 zeros makes 0. 4 plus 4 negative 1s makes 0. 2 plus 28, right? Are we with me? 2 plus 28 makes 30. 16 plus 44. That's 60. Okay, we did it. That was our goal, to have zeros. Okay, so we're ready to solve. So I'm going to start. So 30z equals 60, because I have no x's, no y's, so 30z. So z equals 2. I'm going to work my way up the page. 4y plus 2z's equals 16. I should make this look like a 2, not a z. So 4y equals 12, so y equals 3. And working my way up, 1x plus 1y plus 1z equals 9. So therefore, x equals 4. Okay, you might see me writing my answer as a coordinate, and when I write coordinates, it's always x, y, z. So you would see me probably writing my answer like that. Okay, and I gave you a little diagram at the bottom. This is what we're working on today. We're trying to row reduce, is what it's called. So in this case, we start with a number, we start 0 number, 0, 0 number. Okay? My engineering people, right? Ethan and Rory, great. This you might see quite a bit in engineering. So what an x, y, z equation is, it's just a three-dimensional graph. So you know how we plot x, y's flat? Could you imagine a z like coming out your page? It's like a depth. Because x goes left, right, y goes up, down, z would be like an axis coming in and out at you, a depth axis. So when I have a coordinate, that's what I'd be talking about. Oh, here'd be graphing on a three-dimensional plane. That's what it would look like. So you might see that a little bit in engineering with calculus stuff. That's what you're doing. Okay, so I'll let you work a little bit. Row reduction. So get your zeros and then go back and solve.